Imagine boarding a cruise ship, thinking you scored an incredible deal. But by the end of the trip, your $900 cruise quietly turned into a $2,400 vacation. Extra charges, hidden markups, convenience packages that aren't convenient at all. Cruise lines are masters at one thing: making you spend more money than you planned. But here's the thing most passengers never realize. There are simple tricks experienced cruisers use to completely flip the system. In fact, there's one trick near the end of this video that cruise lines hate so much because it can save you hundreds of dollars on a single trip, and almost nobody talks about it. So, before you book your next cruise in 2026, here are 14 ways to outsmart the cruise lines. 1. Never book shore excursions through the cruise line unless you must. Here's something cruise lines hope you never figure out. Their shore excursions are often massively overpriced. The exact same tour you see listed on the cruise website for $140 per person might cost $60 or $70 directly with a local operator. Same beach, same snorkeling trip, same guide. The difference is the cruise line is taking a big commission. Now, there is one advantage to booking through the cruise line. If the excursion runs late, the ship will wait. But most independent tour companies near cruise ports guarantee you'll be back on time. Veteran cruisers often research tours on sites like Viator or local tour companies before the trip. And in many ports, you can simply walk off the ship and find high-quality tours for half the price. Just be smart. If a port requires long travel distances or complicated logistics, booking through the cruise line might still be safer. But for simple beach trips, city tours, or snorkeling, you can often save a fortune. 2. Skip the drink package unless you do the math. Cruise drink packages sound amazing. Unlimited cocktails, beer, wine, specialty drinks. But here's what cruise lines don't advertise loudly. Most drink packages cost $70 to $100 per person per day, and everyone in the cabin usually has to buy it. That means a couple on a 7-day cruise could pay $1,200 or more just for drinks. To break even, you might need to drink 6 to 8 cocktails per day, every single day, not including port days when you're off the ship. For some people that works, but many cruisers discover they barely break even or lose money. Instead, many experienced cruisers pay per drink, bring allowed wine on board, watch for happy hour deals. Suddenly, your bar tab is a fraction of the package price. 3. Bring your own wine. It's usually allowed. Most cruise passengers don't realize this. Many cruise lines allow you to bring 1 or 2 bottles of wine per cabin when boarding. That can save a lot of money. Because on cruise ships, a bottle that costs $15 at home might cost $45 on board. Even with a small corkage fee in restaurants, you can still save big. Just check your cruise line's policy before sailing. This small trick alone can save $50 to $150 during a cruise. 4. Avoid booking flights through the cruise line. Cruise lines love offering convenient flight packages, but convenience doesn't always mean value. When you book flights through the cruise line, you often don't control flight times. Layovers can be terrible, seat selection is limited, and sometimes you don't even see the airline until later. Experienced cruisers almost always book their own flights. This gives you better schedules, more airline options, full control over your travel, and often lower prices. 5. Board the ship later. This one surprises a lot of first-time cruisers. Everyone rushes to board the ship as early as possible, which means long lines, crowded buffet, total chaos. But here's the secret seasoned cruisers know. If you board the ship later in the afternoon, most passengers are already on board, security lines are shorter, your cabin is ready, the ship is calmer. Instead of stress, you start your cruise relaxed. Sometimes the smartest move is simply not rushing. 6. Don't buy internet until you're on board. Cruise Wi-Fi prices are notorious. But here's the trick. Cruise lines frequently run day one discounts once you're on board, sometimes up to 20 to 30% off. And you can also test whether you really need Wi-Fi at all.
Many ports offer cheap or free internet at cafes or terminals, so instead of paying hundreds before the cruise, wait. Check the onboard deals first. 7. The spa tour trick. On Embarkation Day, cruise ship spas offer free tours and raffles. Most passengers ignore them, but here's what experienced cruisers know. These tours often include special discounts only offered on day one, things like discounted massages, thermal spa passes, treatment bundles, sometimes 30 to 40% cheaper than later in the cruise. You don't have to buy anything, but the discounts can be worth checking.
8. Skip the first night specialty restaurant rush. Cruise lines push specialty restaurants hard. Steakhouses, Italian restaurants, sushi bars, they're great, but the first night is when cruise lines promote them the most because many passengers skip the main dining room that evening. To fill seats, they often offer embarkation night discounts. So if you do want to try specialty dining, ask about first night promotions. You can often get the same meal for much less. 9. Use the future cruise deposit strategy. Here's a trick cruise lines actually encourage, but most passengers ignore. Near the end of your cruise, the ship will promote future cruise deposits, usually something like deposit $100 to $200 today and receive onboard credit or discounts for a future sailing. Even if you don't know your next travel date yet, many of these deposits are flexible. Veteran cruisers use this to secure extra perks on future trips. Quick question: what's the most surprising cruise fee you've ever seen? Was it Wi-Fi, drink prices, or something totally unexpected? Drop it in the comments. Experienced cruisers often share amazing tips there. And now, let's get into some tricks that can save even more money. 10. Watch for price drops after booking. Here's a huge mistake many cruisers make. They book a cruise and never check the price again. But cruise prices change constantly, sometimes dramatically. If the price drops before final payment, you can often reprice the cruise, get onboard credit, or upgrade cabins, all without paying more. Savvy cruisers track prices regularly. Sometimes they save hundreds of dollars after booking. 11. Avoid the art auctions. Cruise ship art auctions look glamorous, free champagne, fancy paintings, big crowds, but they're one of the most controversial cruise activities. Why? Because art can be massively overpriced. Many pieces sold on board are prints marketed as limited editions, but resale value is often far lower than the purchase price. Unless you're a serious collector, treat art auctions as entertainment, not shopping. 12. Book excursions in advance for popular ports. Earlier we said cruise excursions can be overpriced, but sometimes booking early still makes sense. For extremely popular experiences like glacier helicopter tours, small group snorkeling trips, private island cabanas, spots can sell out months in advance. The trick is researching early, comparing options, and booking smart. Waiting too long can mean missing out completely. 13. Pack a small cruise kit. This sounds simple, but it can save both money and hassle. Experienced cruisers often bring a small kit, including magnetic hooks for cabin walls, reusable water bottles, motion sickness tablets, and portable phone chargers. Cruise ships sell these items on board at inflated prices. Packing them yourself avoids last-minute spending. 14. The cabin upgrade trick cruise lines hate. Now here's the trick cruise lines really don't love. Many passengers pay hundreds more to choose a cabin category, but experienced cruisers often book the cheapest cabin in that category. Why? Because cruise lines frequently offer upgrade bids before sailing. You might get an email offering the chance to bid for balcony cabins, suites, or better locations. Sometimes upgrades happen for a fraction of the normal price. There's no guarantee, but when it works, passengers can move from an inside cabin to a balcony for far less than booking it originally, and that's one of the smartest ways to beat the cruise pricing system. Cruise lines are incredibly good at selling extras. That's their business model. But when you understand how the system works, you can enjoy the same incredible cruise experience without paying for unnecessary add-ons. Book smarter. Avoid the traps.
Use insider strategies, and suddenly, cruising becomes one of the best travel deals available. If you found these cruise tricks helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel.